Oh, we're on now. Yeah, we're on now. Beautiful. Excellent. Clicker. Thank you. Terrific. Thanks very much, Alex. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a rock and roll guy, luckily, so I'm going to move around a bit, but I'm a drummer. They don't normally give me a microphone, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, I'm going to need to move fairly quickly. We're in the private room just outside the doors here, where all the cool applications are. Okay, so this is what we are. We've been in the peer-to-peer business. We started original research back in 2002. So we've been looking at this for quite some time. We developed a system for delivery of premium movies and video across the internet in super premium quality. We solved the spinning wheel of death problem. We did that peer-to-peer. That system is designed and patented and approved by one of the largest studios in Hollywood with the world's first legal peer-to-peer movie sharing system approved by Hollywood in the world. They absolutely love us. So we're starting out, we're not doing an ICO at the moment. We think they create more problems than they solve. We are doing a token, and our token is a reward system for people sharing their discs so that we can move the slices of video around the network, and a reward system for sharing movies. The studios only ever ask us one question when we say we're sharing movies. They say, do they have to pay for them? And we say, yes, secured by DRM and our security. They go, great, we love it, because they understand the peer-to-peer thing. Believe it or not. They hate a certain peer-to-peer thing, but they love peer-to-peer things that are secure and people have to pay. So that is, and the two things are completely separate. Our peer-to-peer distribution system is locked and approved. We've been through a big approval process. We're not changing that. We're using the token as a as a frequent sharer reward system, and therefore, under the legislation, we've talked to some lawyers. We're at a blockchain law conference a couple of weeks ago. We're a frequent sharer scheme like the frequent flyer schemes, and under the current regulation, they are exempt. Okay, let's get into it. We think there are some opportunities coming on going forward. This is our vision. It's a pretty big vision, but we think it's very achievable, particularly with the blockchain community, which we absolutely love. You guys are my folks, so thank you for existing. Let's look at how big that vision is. Okay, so the movie business globally, $100 billion. The game business, $100 billion. That's $200 billion. VR, in Australia alone, they're $1 billion each. Right. VR is going to be another $100 billion by 2021, and IoT even bigger than that. So I'm sorry for the gaming guys, but the market's actually bigger than that. And if you look down the bottom, you'll see what people are doing at the moment. So iTunes is $4 billion. Steam, which is the largest gaming platform in the world, pretty much owns the game business. They're $3 billion. Netflix is $11 billion, 11 and a bit. So if you look at that, you know, no one has a really big share of the market at the moment. So we think this is very achievable. So what problem are we solving? So the first, as I said, we solve the problem. Hands up to people in the room who watch streaming and have seen this little spinning wheel of death thing. Like, it should be everyone in the room who watches streaming, certainly in my case. We solve that problem. With our technology, there is zero spinning wheel of death, zero fuzziness. We call this, everyone uses a technology called adaptive bitrate. We call that adaptive bitrate stealing your money. You are not getting HD. You're probably getting worse than SD in a lot of cases. 85%, so Netflix. On Netflix's website, you need 25 megabits per second to stream 4K, which is the new standard. You can see it. We're showing the app and 4K video on our stand. 85% of the world, roughly, cannot see that right now. They can with our technology. 55% of the world cannot see HD. I'll say that again. 55% of the world cannot stream HD. We solve both those problems. Oh, sorry, and we also save people a lot of money. We're rolling this out ourselves. We're going to save ourselves a lot of money. We're the lowest cost provider in the market. This is huge. I've talked about this already. The studios hate a certain peer-to-peer protocol. We spend most of our time convincing them that we are not that peer-to-peer protocol. I won't even say its name when I'm talking to the studios. I call it the other protocol. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. So our system is secure. And basically, we're going to stop what happened with HD, which is getting out into every one of those peer-to-peer systems in the world. The studios do not want that to happen to 4K. And the hurdles we jump through are way higher for 4K than HD. So this is huge. This is a massive debate in the US, right? This is Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix, versus Comcast and Verizon, and they're all pointing at each other saying, who's going to pay for this? Right? The telco engineers call this threading an elephant through the eye of a needle, trying to get video across the internet on the traditional models. So we solve this problem. This stops being a debate. We go back to the original design of the internet, problem solved. So the beautiful thing, I love it, I'm a systems engineer, love the systems engineer guy. We'll do a little club later. This is a guy who in 1959 started researching this. In the early 1960s, I think about 1962, published a paper on this. This is every architecture in the history of networking, of wide area networking, I should say. If you copied the right-hand one, which is the original internet, peer-to-peer, ARPANET, and then DARPANET, defense got involved pretty quickly when they worked out, hey, this thing's unstoppable. We like this if we're defense guys. This is what scares nation states about the blockchain. It is unstoppable. If you copied that right-hand picture to the left, you would have a history of the internet. Started out peer-to-peer, then it was centralized. So the centralized, that horrible-looking one there with the big server in the middle is everybody. It's Facebook, it's Google, it's Twitter, and they have broken the internet. Right? Then people tried to solve it. They distributed it out into exchanges. Akamai do this, Netflix do this. Kind of half solves the problem, doesn't really work. What's the solution? Well, guess what? Let's go back to the original design of the internet, do it peer-to-peer. And then we said, well, okay, that sort of half works. The first one half works, the last one half works. What if we smashed them together and made it secure? Boom, that's our patent. We think that is the most efficient way to distribute video over the internet. Combination of peer-to-peer and top-down CDN, made secure and acceptable to the studios. Global patent, registering and going through the process now in the US, Japan, China, Australia, and Europe. Does movies, games, VR, because we originally started doing games when nobody else was thinking about doing games, and it basically does everything. We got it actually running out in the back corner of the private room up the back here. It's not private, but you know what I mean. So this is interesting. So once again, we've been working on this stuff. Like I said, we started doing research with Syra and then with Nicta back 2002, then 2007. And then Charlie, somewhere in the room, who was the head of home entertainment at Big W, we had a previous technology called Manufacture on Demand. We were burning CDs and DVDs in retail stores. Charlie said, I want to do online, I want to do movies, games, and music. I want to do it yesterday, and I got no money. And I said, Charlie, don't go anywhere. I thought I needed a couple of months. 5 years later, here we are. But most challenging, but most rewarding thing we've ever done. It turns out there was a guy in America doing this. He was working on the other half of the problem. So we created a system, and we wrote a spec for what we needed when we filed the patent in 2014. And it said we need 4 things. We need a file system, we need a directory structure, we need a protocol stack, and we need we called it movie share points. We've been talking about movie share points from day one. Right? So this guy, Juan Bennett, who's my hero, you've got to love a guy who wears his network design and philosophy on his t-shirt. If we'd given him that spec and said, build what we need, he could not have done a better job. This guy is the most heavily backed network guy in the world right now. So he went through Y Combinator's, which everyone knows, the #1 accelerator in the world. Union Square Ventures found him. He was a huge hit there. There's a fantastic video. The best video for him is to watch the Y Combinator Juan Bennett video. Goes for an hour and a half. It explains everything. Union Square Ventures found him. Union Square Ventures are the #1 venture capital in the world. They funded every unicorn in the last 10 years. They realized, oops, we broke the goose. We almost broke the goose that lays the golden eggs. We better fix this. They find Juan Bennett and they go, have $50 million, knock yourself out. We love what you're doing. There's a video of the managing partner of Union Square Ventures saying that. There's a blog on their website saying exactly that. So then Juan goes, okay, well, if we built the interplanetary file system, this is the level that Juan thinks on. If it works on Mars, it'll work in Sydney and New York. He said, okay, if we're going to do that, then we need some sort of incentive. And then he looks at the crypto and he goes, crypto's pretty cool. And then being Juan, he goes, yeah, but some of them are pretty crap. So he invents his own called Filecoin. Probably most of you in the room would know towards the end of last year, the Filecoin ICO raised $200 million. 2,000 of Union Square Ventures, Andreessen Horowitz shoot. And their closest friends gave them $200,000. This is how it all fits together. It fits perfectly. It doesn't break our security model. We don't have to change anything with the studios. That's the team. That's what happened. What happens when you have that, that's the most amazing team in the world. I won't go into detail, but yeah, like everybody else, we're not hiding, the guy who said before, we're not hiding them. These are the sorts of things that happen when you get that team and you do what we're doing. So we've got the first quote there from the studio is Alicia McCauley, who was head of digital at Fox. She said, Rhett, the P word scares us, but we're coming with you. That was 5 years ago when we first showed it to her. A couple of years later, the second quote there is the lady, global head of digital for Disney in Burbank. She said, you do this in Australia, we will support you. And the rest is, the biggest hurdle is getting people to look at them. So I'll go through here. This is our value prop. This is it. Binge on the best quality catalogue in the world and the best viewing experience in the world. Even when you're asleep, you get crypto, watch movies, have fun, share some files, make some coin, fix the internet, do some good. As I said, we won this a couple of weeks ago. We're beat consensus in May. We're in the back corner of the room. We're looking for 500,000 to do a beta. And talk to us. We're in the back corner, and I'll leave you with a little video.